25th. So I'm going to make this as succinct as I possibly can. For a while now, I have been intending to take all of the videos and photos, documentation that I have collected on Spaceflight, and you'll quickly understand what that means. This very mysterious, cryptic website that forced itself on my computer screen when I was working on something. I don't even think it was online, actually. Maybe it was. I can't remember exactly, but basically intruded, forced itself in onto my computer screen while I was working on something else. So what I want to do is I want to create this. I'm going to put it all in this video and try to explain as briefly as I can what it means. So anyway, as you can see here, this is on my laptop. You see Spaceflight there. Now, I was working on, I have to undergo a lot of hacking and technical interference, and I encounter so many technical abnormalities whenever I'm working on the computer or on my cell phone. So this is one example of that kind of technical interference, but this is actually more significant because the reason this is more significant is this website ties very much and very directly into what I've been saying for the last 4 years, what I've been trying to tell my family, doctors, lawyers, police. I have been, trying to even, imply things about it because I was scared to death. I was a doctor. When I mentioned a few things, a doctor called Children's Aid on me. And basically labeled me as a paranoid schizophrenic, even though he only spent 10 minutes with me, and I have never, ever, been diagnosed with anything even close to that. I don't even see a psychiatrist. I'm not on any antidepressants. So basically, it was what it was. Obviously, was extreme bias. But so what I want to do now is I want to show you this website. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples. This one here, but first, before I get to that one, I'm just going to open this up, give an example of what it looks like. Okay, so it looks like it's a game, probably some kind of very sinister game, and there are players. Okay, and then the next one, that is a photo. The next one, okay, so Tony is all over this. That's the name of my brother, actually, who I haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen anybody in my family in a long time, and they have not even inquired as to, how I'm doing. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain that in later or in another video. There's that. There's your triangle, okay, of course. There's your triangle, okay. And next one is, now remember, this basically imposed itself onto my computer screen, so into my CPU computer when I was working on something. Okay, now hold on. Now the arrow's not coming up. I'm going to try to go back. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the one that I find very scary. It's like this astronaut, this sort of animal type or feline type astronaut with a tail. Actually, I find that, yeah, scary. So it was built in measure. Currently, space junk are usually caused by poor rocket. Okay, so they're talking space lingo here. Okay, but this is what's really important. This message under here. Okay, yes, that is the crux of why this website is so critical. This website just appearing out of nowhere on my computer screen is basically the very first evidence or reflection, tangible, real reflection of what's been happening to me, which is that I get pains. I'm struck by these, they're like lightning strikes of pain. I get struck by these pains right before I smoke, and I smoke very little, like a third of a cigarette, so a few drags at a time, about 5 a day. So we're not talking about a really big issue here. What's really at issue is the fact that I get, for 4 years, I've been telling everybody, and nobody's listening. It's shocking that my family has not refused to acknowledge any of this and has actually completely ostracized me now and my children. And obviously, I can't see them. I cannot see them anymore because this has become my life, and I know it's not right. It's absolutely not right to get pains that you've never experienced before you do a specific activity and in specific rooms of the house. And then there's also other very strange patterns too, like when I work out, when I exercise, during specific songs like Candyman, I'll get struck with pains. So there are other very specific patterns as well. But what we're talking about right now is this very bizarre, let me be more specific, very abnormal and unnatural pain and symptom presentation that all started in mid-2016, around that time, spring, summer 2016. I have meticulously observed and documented these symptoms, these pains, and sometimes the pains are really bad. It's like being tortured on a daily basis. That's what it feels like. It's like being tortured on a daily basis. It's never ending. The pain has actually gotten better, and I notice as the pain gets better, the house occurrences get worse. So when the pain alleviates and starts to subside, then the black ants come out more. The black ants before I smoke, they come out more. Or, I hear strange sounds just before I smoke, like my cell phone will go off just before I smoke. So the house occurrences, it's like an ebb and flow. They go up, the pains go down, the house occurrences go up. So yes, it's all very true. I have it documented in videos, photos, tape recordings, on my computer. I have witness testimony. I mean, it just goes on and on. So the reason this website is the very first real reflection of what I've been saying all this time, and I'm going to read this. It's a real, sorry, I don't know what's happening here. Something's happening here. Are we still on? Okay. So I'm going to read it to you, and this is where we get into the gist of these very strange pains that have been torturing me for 4 years. Okay. Still don't understand. Look at it this way: you refuse to stop smoking. In brackets, not find a way to prevent further generation of space debris. When all the doctors, in brackets, scientists, warn you to, and when you finally have cancer of the lung, in brackets, Kessler syndrome, you have to be put on life support, in brackets, space fishnet, while every breath you take makes your lungs feel as if they are being torn apart. Okay, so it's some kind of a threat, and I understand that smoking a few cigarettes a day is not the best thing you can do, but it's not going to kill me. Not the way the stress of going through something like this alone, without any support from even your own family. That's the kind of stress that'll kill someone. I understand that smoking is not the best thing, but I don't think I should be tortured for that. The pains are definitely not natural, and they're definitely not normal. That I know for sure. The symptoms and pains are not, and that's why I won't even see a doctor, because I know you don't get pains in specific rooms of the house and before a specific activity. So that's the gist of the message. That ties in very directly to, I thought it turned off. Sorry, I'm so scared because my videos always get cut off. So that ties in very directly to this a very unnatural, abnormal pain and symptom presentation paradigm, if you will, that I have been subjected to for the last 4 years. And there's actually one more thing too as well. There's probably a few other things, but one other thing that stands out is this picture of Bart Simpson, because I always talk about how whoever's responsible for hacking our house is very hacked. Every device in our house is hacked. Ask my children, because they have to go through it. It's clear that the house is being controlled by something else. If you go to the news, you'll find there are stories about, quote, haunted houses. In other words, houses that where all the digital, wireless, most of the advanced technologies are being controlled by somebody else, an intruder, an imposter. A hacker. One lady was talking about how one guy was turning her lights on and off. Her stereo system was going off, on and off in the middle of the night. So this is a picture. I often say, the chicken, the coward, who's doing this to us, to me particularly, is a chicken. I talk about cowardly behavior, and chickens hiding in the corner, because nobody's explaining why they're doing this to us, and who they are and why they're doing this to us. So what happened was the printer hasn't been working at all, and then all of a sudden, one day I found this Bart Simpson, not this, but Bart Simpson on my cell phone screen, and I thought, I'm just going to try one time, because it just appeared there for no reason. So I'm just going to try to use our new printer. It's a Canon Pixma. I thought I'm just going to try to see if I can get a reproduction of this. And so so it worked, and this is what comes out. So that is very, very strange, because not only is it strange because our new Canon Pixma actually worked, and since that time we have resolved the issues with the printer. It was hacked, but because we got Canon involved, it is no longer hacked. This is the reproduction. Now that is artwork. Like that is not, you have to understand, that is not normal for a photocopier. The fact that this is all only in here, and the eyes are specifically are lit up, that's specifically lit up, but this in particular, which kind of looks like a plasma, some sort of plasma, blood plasma, that is discriminating. That's a discriminating intentional piece of artwork. That's done by the photocopier. And like I said, it's amazing that the photocopier worked, because I couldn't get it to work for weeks. But it worked really well for this picture. So anyway, so I wanted to make sure that I had all these videos of this spaceflight, videos and photos all in one video, which this is the one. Now, one more thing I have to say that's really important is while this very bizarre, unusual, abnormal pain presentation started in mid-2016, I was not conceding. So basically, I would just, no matter how much pain I went through, I would go and have a few drugs. No matter how many times I was paralyzed in my bed, and it happened a few times when I went to the hospital to see my mother. And it happened actually when I walked into the hospital. I was struck with excruciating ankle pain. And I get a lot of ankle pain at home before I go smoke a few drugs. So no matter how bad it got, I still, because it almost makes me smoke more, but I'm very minimal. So I just refuse to sort of concede with whatever this pressure was on me. So the fact that it says, the fact that you refuse to stop smoking, but how do you know? That's very personal. This is a very personal message, and it's a reflection of the invasion of privacy that's permeated my life for more than 4 years now. So yeah, I mean, how does anybody know that? You refuse to stop smoking. Well, how do you know, and why do you care? Well, clearly, again, that is uh, directly related to what I was talking about for the last 4 years. I'm going to end this now because I don't want it to be too long.